go. Poor Alfred.
Poor Alfred. Hello, Cathay.
Hello, Vinny.
Poor
How are
Alfred.
Poor Alfred. Here we go. We're gonna go back to the alien adventure.
We are.
All right. Hello, everyone. We hope you enjoyed last week's aliens. This week's aliens are gonna be a little different. Actually, aliens from here on out will be a little different than Travis's aliens.
I would say so.
Yes.
I
We're
want you to
gonna
say his last name.
Burtoo.
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 Burtoo. Alfred Burtoo.
Well, I mean, actually, it would probably be Alfred Burtoo,
Burtoo. Because he was British.
British. I don't think we're going to get any awards for our British accent.
I don't think so.
But yes, this takes us to England. This happened in 1973. So this was before Travis. So actually, we could say that this maybe Alfred has the like real deal on aliens because he's coming in earlier than Travis, and his aliens are not quite the same.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna picture this nice British gentleman. He's going to a canal in wait, I've got the name. Alderson, Hampshire, England.
And how
Ald-
old is Mr. Albert?
he is 77 years old.
Oh, I call him Albert. It's Alfred.
Alfred. It is Alfred.
76, did you say?
He's 77.
77.
He is, yes.
Is an old gent.
He's an old gent. And so he likes to go fishing at night.
He's an odd gent.
He is. And my favorite part is he brings his dog named Tiny. I remember his dog's name without any problem. Didn't you might notice, folks? I didn't even have to refer to my notes because my mother's very first dog was named Tiny. So that one stuck in my mind. And he also brought his carafe of tea because he's a proper British gentleman. So he is going to fish at night with his trusty sidekick dog and his little carafe of tea.
Pinky out.
Pinky out. And so he is sitting there, minding his own business.
As one does.
Yes. And he sees a strange craft appear. He hasn't seen them yet. Because we have them going back to back. It was 1974.
Oh, okay.
So this is the year before Travis. So he's out fishing and he sees something strange. And this makes sense. It's sticking to the sort of scenario that we've become used to, which is kind of remote location. He's out fishing in the quiet. It's nighttime. We're seeing an unidentified craft. There's strange lights. And now we get to the what would be expected, the unusual occupants. And his occupants are a little bit different, a lot different, actually, than Travis's. So they are human-like, and they're humanoid, but they're actually a bit taller, I think.
Aren't
And
they like 6 or 7 feet tall or something?
they're pretty tall.
Maybe
There are
he was just a short old dude, but whatever.
That's true. He could be all stooped over,
His
and
perception may have been.
everybody's tall to poor Alfred. But he actually says that they approach him, and that he almost felt like they didn't move normal, I don't think. Didn't he say they were like
Mechanical. They had a black visor that covered most of their face, and they walked real stiff like.
right?
So I don't
And
know if they were green or they were just wearing a green uniform. I didn't hear that part.
well, and I couldn't quite figure out because they invite him on board. They approach him and they invite him on board, but I don't think they talk, do they? Are they just like like
I don't
waving?
know how they're like, let's go, Alfred.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
they just initiated. I don't know.
well, so being a proper polite British gentleman, he goes.
He took his tea and he went on
He
board.
went. He just is like, fine, I'll go on board. So he willingly goes on board. He's not zapped up. There's no beam. He just walks right up the
Thanks.
ramp and he's in. Now, one of the podcasts I listened to, and they were kind of hard to find podcasts on this one. Uh, he said that it smells like rotting meat. He said it was a very like metal sort of freezer, but not cold. Hence the rotting meat. I guess if it had been cold, it wouldn't be rotting. But he said that it didn't smell great. Um,
I didn't hear that part, but I only watched one, and it wasn't a very long.
yeah, I kept digging around and I found some, but one of them said that he said that it was smelled bad. Um, so he went on the ship and he felt that they had him stand under an amber light and he felt like they were doing some sort of examination,
Like a scan or
like a
something.
scan,
Yeah.
yeah. And then see, and this is where I'm confused because they don't describe a voice or anything, but they had to have been talking
Well,
to him.
he said that they were talking, but not with their mouth, and it was a cross. It sounded. He said it. This is what was so weird. He
Oh,
said it sounded like a cross between Russian and some other language, like Chinese or something. But they were talking in his head.
that's right.
So I don't know how he understood them, if they were talking Russian, Chinese, or Japanese. I don't remember what it was, but they were talking in his head.
Okay. Well, he did seem to understand them because, I mean, unless they use the same tactics that they used to get him on the ship, they were just like,
Yeah.
now he did, uh, but he said that whatever they did to him was not like the ones that we have heard. Not necessarily, obviously, we've only heard Travis right now, but there was no probing. There was no, like, unexplained procedures. It was just this light shining on him that he felt was a scan. And they're talking to him and they ask him his age. Because
That first mistake.
they've already they're already having some doubts they made a bad choice here. They're off to a slow start here. So they ask him his age and he says he's 77.
Right.
And they tell him that he's not gonna work out. He's gotta go.
You're too old.
Yeah, they tell him you're too old. You have to go. And one of the stories that I read was they essentially said, "Thank you for your time, but we're gonna pass." Now I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but perhaps for a British guy sharing the story, that makes sense. That
And they call them pensioners, and British elderly are called pensioners, I guess, because they're on a pension. So
oh
he
yeah
was
yeah
a
yeah
pensioner. They probably
yeah.
were
So
like, "Do you receive a pension?"
that's right. They
Yes,
were
I
like
do.
they're like you gotta go.
You're too old.
So So here we have this poor guy who's willingly gone on. He's like, "Hey, I'm on board for this alien adventure." And no, they tell him you gotta go.
Sorry,
And
but
it's kind of sad for poor Alfred. He thought he was up for some like big adventure. And um actually one of the questions they had was uh did they actually speak English or did he just understand them? I think he just understood them somehow. So anyway, and they were talking in his head. So we did have that answered. But he felt that this was some kind of recruitment advent,
yeah,
like what do you call it? Recruitment.
yeah, that's what he said. That he felt like they were trying to recruit humans, and that he didn't qualify because of his age, and they were wanting like good specimens, basically.
Right. He wasn't gonna he didn't make the
Alfred's
grade.
big adventure lasted like 5 minutes. No probing for Alfred. He's so disappointed.
But my favorite part of this whole story is when he talks about, well, you left the ship. He doesn't really talk about how the ship went away or like how it flew away. He said that he sat down, got his fishing rod, had a cup of tea, and just kept on going with his night. Maybe a little disheartened, but um My favorite one though was that I was looking up something and it was questions, and the main question this one person had was what happened to the dog?
I
Now
was going
maybe
to ask, did the dog go with them?
I don't know. I would assume the dog did, but maybe the dog made the cut. Maybe they kept the dog. I don't know. But anyway, so this one doesn't get a lot of like, well, it clearly doesn't get a lot of repeat story, which I think is a shame because this is brilliant. I'm sorry, like I
Now,
just want
I guess he went home and told his wife, but then he didn't think no more of it. And then, because whatever, he wasn't going to say anything. And then, like weeks later or something, something came out about a military people or something had said something about a craft that had been spotted during that time. And then he went, I don't know if he called in or something and was telling people about it. But up until then, he was just going to keep it to himself because he was rejected.
well, and I also think his wife believed him because she didn't think she'd been presumably married to him for a long time and he wasn't prone to making up crazy stories. Like he was just going fishing like he normally did. Now I will forever think of Alfred and laugh that they just gestured to the ship and he's like, yeah, sure, and just followed. I mean, that's a brave dude.
I can just see him and his wife sitting around, and she'd be like, "How was fishing, dear?" And he was like, "It's all right. This aliens came down and took me on board, but said I was too old." She'd be like, "Well, that
You
happened.
are
You
you
are
are old.
old."
You are old.
Well, they probably wanted someone younger.
Yep. So I don't know. It's sort of it's a hilarious but sad story. It's just it gets sadder the older we get that we know now aliens won't even want us. They're just gonna throw us back. Because to be fair, I think Travis was 24. I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
Have you
see
guys?
again, going with the young.
Has anyone ever heard of an older person being abducted? Now that you think about it, I've never heard of an elderly abductee.
Well, now I'm feeling really angry because now we're getting alien ageism, and that is just not fair. Like,
So
what
rude.
the heck? But yeah, so that's Alfred's story. It's a pretty short little story, but it's pretty interesting, and I would be very fascinated to hear if anybody has heard. Again, have you heard of older people? Have you heard from one of your older relatives saying that they've been abducted? Um,
Has your grandfather ever been abducted?
and- well, and also, are they trying to reproduce with us? It seems like they're trying to find reproduction years, although I don't know what, I guess he would have to impregnate.
He's
Uh,
too old. They checked his sperm. Mm.
you know what? I don't think they checked it very well because Tony Randall was still going to town.
Well, they
And look at Mick Jagger, and
if they had brought them on board, they still would have been there.
that's true. Maybe that's where they are. Maybe that's where Tony Randall is.
Tony Randall's not dead. He's up there. He is up there, but he's in the UFO procreating these little guys right here for the future. He's
Now
up there
they're
doing jazz hands and making babies.
well, and him and his alien wife are the true odd couple, so that's good. That's good. There could be maybe he has a very successful sitcom up there too. It's hard to say. But yeah, so that's Alfred. I really kind of like this story. It was hard to find information on it, but I just love it's like the most quintessential British alien story you could have. Like no drama,
So
no
lucky.
no, and it's all very polite. They didn't just like throw him out on the tarmac like
They
they
didn't
did
stuff him
Travis.
up like they did Travis and break all his bones. They just said, "Excuse me, good sir, would you like to come aboard?" And he's like, "Well, yes, yes, I would. Let me bring my tea and
And
my
you know,
dog."
I have to tell you, I mean, given what I do for a living, I'm gonna qualify that the elderly do some weird stuff and might make up some weird stuff. So this might not be true because it might just be some sort of elder story. But at the same time, it's so weird I almost want to believe it. Like, it is just so random. Could be true, I guess. Like,
Why not? I mean, he
I
didn't tell anybody but his wife. You know,
that's true too. It wasn't like he was trying, and it is really hard to find information about it. So clearly he wasn't like making any this was not his retirement plan to like do an
even
alien hoax.
when you look on YouTube, I think the longest documentary I could find was like 11 minutes.
I know. Well, it is
like,
a very short story. It really is.
like,
It's like
dang, Alfred, they didn't want you, and now there's no documentaries more than 11 minutes long.
I know.
Probably,
I want to see what Alfred looks like because I bet he was real cute. He was probably a cute, dapper old guy. He probably had his little one of those
little teeny
hats,
thing.
his tam.
11 minutes is probably how long he spent on the ship. So
Yeah,
that's
they
a long
really,
documentary.
really made up their mind real fast. He was definitely not a swipe right. He was just like, "You're out, you're out."
Next.
But the sad part is that would have validated his story if somebody that same night had been. There
Yeah,
had to have been someone else they could have.
but
The
who else
rep,
is going to be hanging out at the wherever fishing in the middle of the night except Alfred?
and I also think that that was a really poor choice for a 77-year-old in 1974. Like, that's pretty old. Like, that was a little dangerous. He could have tottered into the water. He could have tripped
Could have
over
I was
something.
tripped over Tiny and fell into the water, but instead he's taken on a ship and rejected.
Feel so bad for Alfred. I feel like we need Alfred merch. That's merch we need. Like, I would have accepted you, Alfred.
We accept everyone, even Alfred. We're not like those stuck up aliens. All are welcome here.
Well, and it is interesting that the military said there was some whatever, because he did say that it felt like they were not human, that they were some kind of not alien, but not even like organic, like they were some kind of robot or
Oh,
some kind
yeah.
of mechanical. So, I mean, if they that makes me feel better about aliens, though. I mean, they're not that heartless that they would just say, "You're old, Alfred, get out." It was the robots that said that. They don't know. They don't have emotions. They didn't know how they crushed that poor little old man's dreams.
But do the aliens really show us emotion?
No,
They
no.
look at us with those big eyes, that big head.
I told you last week about Supernatural dancing to Lady in Red. That was pretty emotional.
You don't know what the alien was feeling during that dance.
Well, the alien did kind of squeeze his butt.
Oh,
So I guess he was feeling something.
there's
Maybe,
that.
maybe.
They got a thing about butts.
Yeah.
They're all about the butts.
I mean that is true. That is a popular topic is the probing of the butts. Butt probing.
Let's stick stuff up our butts. There's nothing else
No,
that's good.
except for Alfred, which he didn't even know that he dodged a bullet there.
He
He was all
dodged a,
disappointed that he didn't get abducted, and now he's like, "Oh well, never
he dodged
mind."
a butt bullet. There's nothing good up there, aliens. Leave us alone. You don't want to go up there. That's an exit only. You don't want to go up there.
Why would that be? Is that just like that's got to be part of the fake? Like
They
who?
gotta be like, oh look, there's a hole. Let's just see what's up there. They should know by now. I don't know.
Oh wait, I want to ask her since this is a lighter one and whatever. I mean, actually, the next one is probably next week's is pretty interesting too. But has anybody seen the Saturday Night Live skits about the alien? I can't recommend these enough. It's Katie. What is her name? Anyway, if you've seen them, she's amazing, and it's supposed to be they're at being interviewed at the like Pentagon basically about their alien abductions, and basically hers is always like they were like, oh, the other people would be like, oh, they brought me down on a cushy beam of light and laid me down in the grass, and she's like, yeah, they opened the hatch and kicked my ass through it. And in the and if you can find it, you should watch them. You would get a kick out of
Oh,
them.
good.
Um, she's done multiple of them. Who, Katie? You guys are gonna know. Fill it. Tell me. You guys know. Answer, Kate. Um, in the 50th anniversary, it was Meryl Streep who played her mother being abducted on and has the same story, like same type of stories. And like at one point, it's like it's not the worst Friday night. Like basically they're prone whatever and Meryl Streep's like, not the worst Friday night ever. Like it's so funny. And I'm not telling it very well, so watch them. It's really, really funny. But that didn't happen to Alfred, so we're coming full
Oh,
circle.
did not. Oh, what do they call that? In what do the British call that? Buggered? Is
No,
that
he was not buggered. There was no
Alfred
buggery.
was not. There was no bugger.
Is it buggery?
There was no buggery with the pensioner that night. Poor Alfred was sent home a virgin.
He really was. And we hope Tiny went with him, but
We
Tiny might
hoped
not.
that was too.
I was to say Tiny might have suffered a different fate that we won't think about. We're already somehow we're ending him back up with Arthur Shawcross. We're going all the way back. Like, don't think about the dog. Don't think about the dog.
At least he
And
didn't have a chicken with him.
we really, really.
We're
I,
traumatized by the chickens.
actually, that's another thing we should look into is the cow mutilations.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the chickens. I was like, I don't want to look into the chicken. Oh, yeah, we do need to look into the cow mutilization because that is something I remember hearing about when I was
Yeah, I do remember that too. That actually was probably when it first came on my radar. Like,
because we
what
were
is it?
living out west at that time where there's a lot of cows.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. We'll add that to our list because stranger danger can encompass so many. We can talk about stranger danger for cows. We can, I mean, we
Yeah.
already did for chickens and sheep, so we're good. We've done it. Um, this is a really short one.
We got to talk about our experiences.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have any.
You don't have any alien experiences, Kathy? None, nothing, not even
I
one.
think I was generally honestly, I feel like Fire in the Sky messed me up so much. They literally, if they came down, they would be like, "That chick is gonna crack. Just leave her alone.
You
Like
never,
she will never recover from this."
you just stopped looking up after that movie, didn't you?
I never look at the sky ever.
Well, I have one experience where I know I was almost one of those people that were abducted. I was this close to being probed, I'm telling you. But I knew better and I didn't let it happen. Okay. Now this was in the
And
early
you didn't do the Alfred. You didn't just wander up there and say, "Sure."
no. Oh no. I did not. So it was early 1990s, living
Okay.
in the very way Appalachia, North Carolina mountains. I mean, way
Mm-hmm.
up there, not too far from Asheville. Uh, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's always like between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. It always is. I lived in a little white house on a hill, okay, by myself, right there on the hill. And I had a Labrador dog out in the backyard. You know, he had his little dog house and everything. And all of a sudden, I'm laying there. You picture it now on my waterbed. Yes, I had a waterbed laying there.
I'm sure that's so much more 70s though.
I loved my waterbed. It was so warm, man. It was just so warm. Anyways, I was laying there sleeping so good. And I'm so sensitive to light. I have to have it really dark. All of a sudden, the whole house outside lit up. Now, I lived in a really dark area. I mean, it was like someone from the sky turned on a spotlight. Every window in my house, it was just a two-bedroom house. The light was shining through. It was like, what is this? Like a raid? Are there just like 1,000 cops outside
Mhm.
with spotlights? And I heard this weird humming sound. There was something hovering over the house, and I immediately jump up and because I'm hearing my dog just whining, just hiding. You know, he's obviously hiding in his house, and he's just whining and yelping. And I run out to the kitchen area where there's a lot of, and that the whole kitchen was just so bright I could hardly see anything. And there's a back door in my kitchen, and I start I headed for the back door, and I'm like, no, I am not. I am not going out there. I know what that is. I am not going to be sucked up. I will not be one of these people that comes back and being like, I was abducted by. I was like, no, no. I just went back to my room. I shut the door. I kind of like sat on the floor where you couldn't really see the light as much, and I just waited. And I'm just like, they're gonna go away, and it hovered there for quite a while. Man, my poor dog, man, he was just crying, and then it was like, zip, literally, it made that zip sound, and then pitch black, and I was just like, what the hell was that? The next few days, this was like on a Saturday night or something. The next few days, of course, I didn't say anything. I started hearing stuff, and there was stuff in the newspaper from Asheville that the military had spotted an unidentified flying object that night in the area. And I was like, it was over my house. It was literally hovering over my house. I kid you not. I'm like,
Wait, but you
oh,
know I have to ask, was your dog okay?
the dog was okay. I didn't go out until the next day because I was afraid they'd come back. He did stop yelping and whining. I went out there the next day. He was very shaky. He was just like tail between the legs, just kind of like, and this was the kind of dog that was really, he'd bark at everything. He was not
Mm-hmm.
barking. He was crying and yelping like he was being hurt.
Mm.
I mean, he was just like, terrified. But when I went out there the next morning, he was just like, he like kind of crawled out of his house, like, what's happened? And I'm like, it's okay. I don't know what happened. It's okay. That was
Mm.
bad. That was so weird because I was just like, I know they come to suck me up. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to see it. I didn't even want to peek out the window.
Well, you
I didn't.
that sounds like the scene in Close Encounters,
I know.
where the whole thing the house lights up
Well,
and
this was bright white. There was no colored lights. This was just bright white. Every single, I mean, the beams were so bright. They were just shining through every window of this house. It was just, I mean, it was just insane. It was like the whole house was just made of light. It was just blinding. It was terrible. But I just refused to participate in that. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. You cannot suck me up. I'm young. They wouldn't kick me out like they would have Alfred. I was
that
in
is
my
very true.
20s.
Yeah,
20s.
you would have been in trouble.
They were like, ooh, young blood.
Yeah,
What?
you would have been some like alien breeding.
Now, and my daughter, she was little at the time, but she was spending the weekend with her grandparents, so I was there by myself. I was like, mm-mm. I literally thought to myself, I don't want to carry that with me for the rest of my life. I don't want to be one of those people that everyone thinks is crazy, that actually like
Yeah,
got abducted and then probed and then put back down on, and then you have to deal with that. I'd rather just experience the light show and be terrified because I was like, it's not loud enough for a helicopter. Why would a
hmm,
helicopter be hovering my little white house when I've never done anything wrong? And how could there be that many lights in every part? It was like here's my house, and it was like,
that's wild.
oh, there was a lot of wind. It was like wind and vibration, not really like gushing wind, but vibration, not noisy like a helicopter, but a humming, whirly sound. It was like, but when it left, whoosh, gone. I mean, just
That's
like
wild.
boom.
That's wild.
But other people had called in. They'd been calling in, talking about it through that whole mountain range.
See, that's good. You got validated.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't the only one, but why did it stop in front of my or on top of my house?
Maybe they sent you alone.
They,
Easy pickings. Easy pickings.
I was alone and young.
Hmm.
Maybe they
Well,
saw.
they learned their lesson after Alfred. They
Yeah,
got it
like
together.
they're like, we're just looking for the young ones. We don't want.
Right, and they know they have to go to the houses now. Because if you just pick up the fisherman,
I ain't not
it's
fish in the dark.
it's like a, you know.
Now the only other thing I ever saw wasn't. I don't know what it was. I was living in South Carolina, 2019. Hadn't lived here very long. I lived in this really big, like a farmhouse with a big glass sunroom, massive glass sunroom. And I would step out on the patio or the porch because you could just see the stars for miles. It was so beautiful and really dark area. And I go out on the porch one night and I'm just looking up at the stars and I noticed there was these weird zoom lights that came in from like a couple different angles. At first I'm like, maybe it's military doing some kind of, practice or something, because it was like obviously pretty high up there, but it was like two, I mean, there weren't red lights, they were white, but it was like two ships or something, like jets or something, but they came together like this. And then a couple more came, like there's four of them, real quick. And they're just all four there. And I'm like, what is that? That's not a star. What the heck is that? And then all of a sudden they just went, and they just shot. I mean, just instantly in all different directions. And I was like, what was that? So I don't know what that was. I have no idea. But at least it wasn't over top of the house. I was glad.
That the house one, see that would have done. I don't think I would have slept again for months and months. Like that is terrifying.
That, yeah, man, that just,
And I don't. I mean, it was a good call. You didn't go out. Definitely a good call.
I was not. It's just like, well, when I went to the back door, like I said, the lights were so bright, they were hurting my eyes. And I just kept thinking to myself, it can't be good. Whatever it is, it can't be anything good. It's above my house. It's
Yeah.
not beside me. It is above me because I could, this was an old, like a mill house, one of those real
Mhm.
thin. They don't have the insulation in the South. So it
Mhm.
was just a really practically made out of paper. I mean, it was a really thin little
Well,
house
maybe that's how they picked you.
because they could,
It looked like an easy house to.
yeah,
Maybe they tried to suck up your whole house.
maybe they tried to scan me. They could scan right through that wood house, and they were like, "Oh, young, alone, only one. What do you call it when they scan the heat sensor? There's only one in there, and it's on a warm waterbed. Let's suck that."
Unless maybe they scanned you and they got confused and they were like, wait, there's two. One of them is very overweight because they thought the waterbed was a person.
Maybe they thought I was a giant person because of the size of the
They're
water.
like, maybe you didn't get taken because of weight restrictions. I'm sure that comes into play too.
They probably were like, wow, that's a big heat source. What is that? It's warm like a body, but then it was just the waterbed. And then I got off the waterbed, it's still warm, and then there's some smaller organic thing. But I was not. I mean, I literally had my hand on the back door and I'm just like, no. What are you doing? Don't open that door.
I would have had a hard time, I don't, although Remy's
I am
forsaken me.
I am a very curious person, but that was just, I mean, it's like, you always see the horror movies where you've got the, usually it's like a young girl by herself and she hears a
Mm.
noise in the basement and everyone's yelling, "Don't go in the basement." And of course she goes in the basement by herself. This was different. This was kind of like curiosity, yes, because it was so abnormal, but at the same time that self-preservation kicked in and it was like it was mental self-preservation. It was not physical. It was, I don't want to be messed up.
Right,
I
right.
do not know what.
Although I think, like I said, with Remy, if I heard Remy out there, I would be so that would have been the hard part for me. I would have been like, I gotta go get my
Well, that's why
pet.
I went to the door because I thought something was hurting my dog, but I couldn't see anything. And then he stopped because obviously he went in the, in his doghouse, but then the vibration and stuff, and it was just, it was almost, I mean, this sounds weird, but it was like it was so bright you couldn't even think straight. You couldn't hear. It was just so bright.
Well, and I
It was
wonder
like,
if he was howling too because he was picking up a frequency that hurts. Like dogs do have that, like where they howl because it actually hurts their ears, like when people play like the piano or
yeah,
organ or.
I mean that would make sense. The sound would be hurting his ears, and I'm sure the light really hurt too. I mean,
Mm,
this was, like I said, it hurt my eyes. It was really bright. You couldn't look at,
that's wild.
you couldn't see to look at. Everything was white, so it was like,
I don't even think I have like you said the pinpoint. Like I don't even have any like things that I've seen in the sky that I was like, what is that? Like
I
Like,
always looked because I always thought I wanted to see something until
you did.
my house.
Well, that's the thing. I really feel like I have such a sort of phobia of it that maybe they're taking pity on me and they're like, she just can't hang with that. She'll just be a basket case and never be normal. But the other thing too is the mental makes total sense because to have something that is true, you experience, but no one believes you. I mean, that's like the worst feeling ever to live with. And all these people who have not been taken seriously. I mean, Travis Walton is amazing because he has just gotten over that and said, well, this is my truth, take it or leave it. And that's amazing. Obviously, Alfred did give two flips when he went on or when he left. I mean, he was just like, it happened, whatever.
Yeah,
Like
he
he was,
ran right to it because he just had to know. And then halfway there, the problem with him though, he wasn't in a house where he could change his mind. He was
that's true.
outdoors. He ran right to it, and then I probably would have done something similar because I would have wanted to see what it was. I have to
Mm-hmm.
see, but the fact that these lights were so bright, I could not see anything out the windows. All
Mm-hmm.
I knew is I would literally have to step outside and look up. That puts me in a vulnerable position
Mm-hmm.
because they suck you up. So
That's true. It's true. We've learned that. We've learned that. Although,
I wonder if my dog was being sucked up because he had a huge chain where he had the whole backyard, but he was chained. So I wonder if my poor dog was up in the air yelping and they let him go. I don't know.
uh, yeah, if you had seen your dog floating, that really would have been.
But I couldn't even see my dog. I mean, it was just too bright. I couldn't see anything. And he was a black dog. So it's like I couldn't see nothing. Nothing.
That's wild. That's wild.
But I didn't want to see it. Man, if something had knocked on my door, I probably would have just died right there. I would have just fainted. Then they would have got me.
Oh
Like,
my
all
God.
right, he's fainted. Take him.
I don't, yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Well, people, these are some great stories. I mean, I mean, it ain't an Alfred story. It ain't an Alfred
It
story.
would have took me.
They and you didn't calmly sit and have your tea after the whole experience.
No, I sat on the floor in the corner as far in the corner where it was dark as I could. It was like it was just kind of like be small, just be small. Just get as small as you can
It makes sense. I mean, I would be terrified. I would literally be like vomiting, terrified. Like I couldn't handle it. I will be no Alfred. I will be no you. I would have been just like sobbing in the corner, like. But yeah, so there you go. We got some stories. So you guys must have stories unless you're like me and somehow you have repelled the aliens from your sheer fear. But and now I'm jinxing myself. I'm knocking on wood right now. Because I don't want to like tempt them by saying,
You're younger than Alfred by a lot.
yeah, but I'm not in reproductive years anymore, so that
They
might save
don't know
me.
that. They could still do that game you were talking about.
Wait, I think I missed this game. What game?
You know that game where the town
Oh, that's
that book
true.
that naughty book that you and your
No, that
friend
was a
wrote.
reality TV show. That was very, very important stuff going on with those.
They
But
still use you for entertainment.
that's true. But they could have used Alfred too, I'm sure, maybe.
I don't
Maybe.
think Alfred worked.
Yeah, maybe. Now I'm worried about Tiny again. What did they do with Tiny?
They
Oh
cloned
no.
time.
Well, there you have it. That's this week's. It's a short and sweet.
What can you do? Tell us your stories, guys. We want to hear
Yeah,
them.
really want to hear
Email
stories.
email us.
Email. Check in the show notes. They're
And don't
there.
worry if you think somebody's going to think you're crazy. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. We all experience our reality differently, and sometimes our reality is crazy as crap. So get it off your chest.
That's right. This is
Nobody's
like
going to
counseling.
do
This is like just purge, purge.
therapy.
It's therapy. All right, that's our next alien, but we have aliens next week too.
We got another one coming, so come back and see us, guys.
Yes, so share, hit that notification, like, We're gonna get Spotify sorted out. We're gonna get Substack sorted out. This is all on me. I suck. I accept it.
She works a
Aliens
lot.
don't even want me. So I will be on.
She's not gonna sleep tonight. She every time a car goes by with lights, she's gonna be like, "What is that?"
And I'm gonna be clutching my little Remy like I won't
Remy's
let
gonna be
you.
like, "Get off me!"
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, on that note,
Until next time.
yes. Share, share, share. Bye.
Bye.